This week on Talk of the Town, we feature the new team at Bear River Floral and Gifts. A Citizen's Take has Public Works Director Paul Fulgham, and we officially wrap up fall sports and gear up for winter. Talk of the Town is made possible by supportive sponsors who love our community. Show your love by supporting them today.
I'm Tangi Reese.
I'm Kobe Reese. Been part of the community our whole lives, lived here, grew up, love the area. Excited to be back doing business in Tremont again. Sold the dealership a year ago, October. So it's been 1 year. It was an awesome year. Got to spend a lot of time with the boys, golfed a lot, spent a lot of time with the family, and then my aunt owned this before, and she went through a couple things that kind of changed her life, and she was kind of ready for retirement, so she reached out and asked if we'd be interested. Yep. Me personally, not interested, but my wife, yes.
So I've always just either been a stay-home mom or I subbed at the schools, and I've never been involved really in the businesses, so it's kind of fun to be able to help with one of the businesses. And I know I can't do flowers, but Kobe's sister does flowers, so we said if she was willing to come in and help us, then we could do it. Well, we like working together. It's fun, and we love working in the community. We love supporting the community. We like being involved where people can come in and talk to everybody and, you know, help out in the schools and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, she says this, she hasn't been involved in the business side before, but she really has. Like, she helped a lot in the dealership, more than she'd probably admit. But I'm excited for Tange, because this will give her kind of a chance to be up front in the face of the community and a business, and kind of her time to shine for sure. So I'm excited for her. One thing that I learned at the dealership is if you have a great team, you will succeed. So Stacy's, like I say, she is my sister, but she had a lot of experience in the flower industry. She actually worked here before. And I think actually at Boca's at one time, a long time ago. So we had her, we were excited about, and then Mary Ann's been here for a long time. Everybody knows her, and so we were happy to keep her, and she does a great job. And then we were able to steal Roxy away from Kent's, which we were really thrilled about. So I kind of feel like we have an all-star team, and that's kind of what makes a business successful, is having the team members behind you, and that's why we're so excited to be doing this.
We just shut down the front of the shop so that we could kind of renovate it, redecorate it, kind of make it into our own. But we left the back open where they can still take fresh flower orders. They can do funerals, weddings. You can come in anytime and still pick flowers out of the cooler. So, and then we're gonna do a grand opening during the kind of the Christmas craft fair opening weekend on November 8th and 9th. We're gonna have all new Christmas, lots of fun gifts so that you can come in and get an easy birthday present, neighbor gift. You know, somebody's having a bad day. We would just kind of want to have a variety of stuff that you can just stop in and just grab something that can make somebody happy.
Something for everybody. That's what I love too. We do have some stuff for men as well. If they're having a bad day, you know, women have bad days, but men do too. So yeah. It's great. And you know, back in the day, they used to have kind of big, I don't know what, openings during Christmas time, and that's kind of what we want to bring back and kind of bring that joy to people's lives again. One thing that we're pretty excited about is our subscription program. You know, a lot of guys, including myself, we don't have the best memory. We forget things a lot. So what we're trying to do is, hey, you can come in, you can buy a 4-month or a 6-month or a 12-month subscription for the days you want, you pick them, and then we do all the rest of the work. You give us the dates of like your wife's birthday, anniversary, Mother's Day, and Valentine's and a couple others. And
it'll just charge your account and send the flowers on those days, and you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, you don't have to worry. You don't get in trouble anymore.
I am Stacy Sorensen, and I am the new manager at Bear River Floral. Kobe the owner and Tangi. They asked me if I would come and be the manager and kind of oversee everything in the new store. I am really excited to bring new things into the store. We're going to have everyday gifts, gifts for teachers, gifts for ministering people, gifts for a little girl if they're having a bad day. We have baby gifts. We have about anything you can want, and if we don't have it, we will go find it for you. My experiences, I worked at Bocats for a year, and then I worked for my Aunt Leanne for a couple years before I got cancer, and then I was really excited to come back when I was asked. In January, I'll be a year cancer-free and just really enjoying getting back to life and just being a person again. At first, I was super excited because, yay, I had a new project to work on. And then I got really nervous. And then I just thought, okay, buckle down and let's jump into this. And the more we do, the funner it seems to get. For the grand opening, we have so many new fun Christmas gifts. We will have 7 trees. They're all different. They can be purchased as a set. They can be purchased with just a tree, or we can do them singly for you. If you come in and something's already been sold, we can definitely order it back in and have it here within a week for you for Christmas. We just have a whole bunch of new products that I think will be really fun and in town, so you don't have to leave town to get everything that you're looking for. Our team is amazing. I am so excited. I've worked with Marianne for a couple years before, and I've known Roxy. We kind of worked with her a little bit when she was at Kent's. And so when I knew we needed another full-time floral designer, she was my go-to lady. When we collab together, we have such fun, and the ideas just seem to flow. And so I think we're going to be able to keep everybody really happy. We're going to be different. We're happy to have people come in. We're just easygoing folks, and we will have a lot of fun with you and take care of you to the best of our abilities.
I'm Marianne May. I started doing flowers. I went into college and took floral classes and stuff, and then decided that this is something I enjoyed doing, and so I did an internship clear back in '95, and I've been working at a flower shop ever since, so I'm going on 29 years this year. We have a lot of fun, and I'm excited to do some newer stuff and having more gift items in that. Still get to design. We get to try new containers and stuff and just let our creative juices flow.
My name's Roxy Christensen, and I've only done flowers for about 5 years, but I've been in art my whole life. I've enjoyed that, but flowers are a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing lots more. I'm excited to do bigger things and do holidays and all the fun things that we do here. So
We've been in the back doing all the floral stuff. The others have done the front part here. So we've been helping customers still. We haven't really closed up the back shop and stuff, and just helping customers with funerals and whatnot. So,
and we're helping prepare, make silk arrangements for Christmas and getting things ready to do Christmas containers, and it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be beautiful. You're going to love it.
agreed. At first I liked doing weddings and stuff, and I've kind of enjoyed more of the funeral work now. I like creating tributes to people, and they've brought in some very interesting things to put in, and it's just nice to be able to do a tribute to those families and that they can remember their loved ones.
And I'm probably the same. I love doing weddings, but funeral work is definitely there. It's the last memory that you can give someone and give them peace and bring them happiness for just a few more minutes.
I just am so excited. I'm excited to work with Roxy. I've known her my whole life, and so it's going to be a fun team, and I'm excited to work with the new owners, and yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah, I'm excited for a new adventure.
Be sure to check out Bear River Floral's grand reopening on November 8th and 9th.
I have a special guest with me this afternoon, and it's Paul Fulgham. Paul is our director of our Public Works Department in the city. How long have you served the citizens of Tree Mountain City?
Total 27 years right now. So
27 years.
yeah, I started in May of '87, but then I took a 10-year break and worked for a private nonprofit consulting firm that provided technical assistance and training to water and wastewater utilities. So I was in the field working with cities and towns all over the state of Utah. And then in December of 2000, I came on as the city's public works director.
Wow.
So almost 24 years in this position.
Share with the citizens what your department spends most of its time doing.
Well, I tell people, we are mainly maintenance people, because we perform maintenance in the water on our culinary water system, as far as pumps and motors, water mains. I mean, I'm sure everyone's had to experience some kind of water outage every once in a while when you have a main that has a leak on it. Believe me, those are generally unscheduled. And so a lot of maintenance on water, maintaining the sewer collection system. My roads department, they maintain the city streets. Try to, if we have a road failure, pothole, we try to get on top of those as soon as we can. Wastewater treatment,
Yes.
which includes the compost facility. We also maintain the facilities, all the city-owned facilities. We do the maintenance on those. The cemetery, up until probably 18 years ago, 20 years ago, we also took care of the parks. But we turned that over when we kind of formed the Parks and Rec department, because it made sense that the rec director, he knows what's going on in the parks. So usually with the parks anymore, we build them and then we turn them over to the Parks department.
Interesting. So if an individual desired to work in the Public Works Department, what kind of skills would they need to bring to the job?
Okay, I mean, and it's a good career. The one thing generally with serving in a city, working for a city, you're not going to get rich, but they have a good retirement. You need a high school diploma. That's the number one. Our equivalent. We like people that have skills, that like to be outside, doesn't have a problem with tearing into something to repair it.
Okay.
Those kind of skills. Then we'll get you a skill if you don't have a CDL, which is a commercial driver's license, because we drive the big trucks. We will train you and get you a CDL, and then start training you to get your certifications. As water and wastewater professionals in the state, we're required to have certain levels of certifications that are state certified, that you continually get continuing education units to maintain those. So, but I think the bottom line is, if you have a desire and are good with your hands, this would be a good fit. Before I worked for the city, my career path was a plumber. My dad was a licensed plumber. There's 6 boys in my family. We were all licensed plumbers. And so I came to Utah with a Texas journeyman licensed plumber, ended up at the city. Those skills are good. I went back to school, got my welding certifications. So those kind of skills fit right in with what we do. As far as plumbing, we plumb on a bigger scale than a home. In our field, we're just getting into apprenticeship programs. It's been overlooked for years. You've always had electrical apprentice and plumbing apprentice. We now have water and wastewater apprenticeship programs that we're working on getting started nationwide. That's going to be something that we'll be able to offer in the future. That will just help people learn the skills they need and get their certifications prior to coming to a city, or why they are starting out at a city. It's something that I really have a passion for, especially water and wastewater. We protect the health of the public by what we do as far as providing clean drinking water and returning our wastewater clean to the environment.
Tell us a little bit about secondary water at this time of year, and why is secondary water such an asset to our community?
Well, right now, as of today, the 28th of October, we're actually turning off our secondary water system and draining it. Usually, we tell people the canal system will go out on the 1st of November. We'll usually drain it if we start having freezing temperatures, because most of our equipment is above ground. But, we got storms coming, colder temperatures. We decided today was a good day to start draining our system. what secondary was able to do, people in Utah, I mean, I come from Northeast Texas. We get plenty of rain generally. We don't here in Utah. We get an average 13 to 14 inches of moisture a year is what we get. We live in the high desert, but we like to grow our Kentucky bluegrass, which takes a lot of water
Yes.
and shade.
Yes.
Before secondary, I was in the summertime, we were on our water produce, we were producing 70% of our water to go on lawns and gardens. By going to secondary, it freed up that much water for future.
Yes.
Now, secondary isn't high quality. That's why it's great for the lawn
Right.
and your garden. But the development of water in our area is really stressed. There's just no new water out there.
Right.
So it's best that we can take and make our water go further. Also, there's some things that by developing secondary water, we didn't have to build bigger mains, because the more water you produce, the more storage you have to store that water, and the bigger lines you have to come all the way to town to bring it to you.
Right.
So by building secondary and utilizing the canal systems to pump out of, that's our storage, and we can have smaller lines in smaller areas. And so it saved our citizens the high cost of what it was going to take to put in new lines all the way out to Deweyville, and new storage tanks all the way on the mountains. You have to buy the property, so there's a lot that secondary has brought. Now there's some downsides of secondary. One is you really need a filter, because our secondary system has no storage pond to help settle things out. We are at the very end of the Bear River Canal system. So our water has been used and reused and reused. And so it has a lot of material in it. We screen it to about a 300 micron, but for a lot of heads, an extra screen. And so with that screen people have on their property, they have to flush that every once in a while. That's the downside. The other worry is as a water provider, we worry about what's called cross connection. That's if you hook the two systems together. We try to run our secondary system at about 75 psi, because our culinary system in town runs about 85 to 90. If somebody accidentally hooks them together, or sometimes on purpose, we don't want that water to be able to push back into the city system.
Right.
The thing that protects us, we have check valves at meters, but it doesn't protect the homeowner. And I'll guarantee you, I've done tests on the canal water. There is a lot of E. coli in that canal water, and there is no E. coli in our culinary water.
Correct.
And so that's our biggest worry, is cross connection. Every year I send out reminders to citizens that, you can't do this. They sign a piece of paper when they hook up to the secondary. The plus side, another plus side, secondary is less money per thousand when you're buying water to put on your lawn. It costs less per thousand. Not a great reduction, but it is a reduction than over putting culinary on.
With the winter months coming on soon, what can citizens expect to see from the Public Works Department?
Well, you'll see us, we're kind of through with concrete projects because things are going to start freezing. We'll be finishing some patching issues. Every time you have to dig the road to make a repair for a water line, it has to be patched. And even in the winter, we can get asphalt, but it's harder to patch because it cools faster. So we prepare that. Working with the police department, we do have a winter parking ordinance that does come into play at the end of November, because usually November snows until the end of November really come off the road really easy.
Right.
And parking on the roads isn't as big. But in the winter months, when it gets really cold, and if we get large snowfalls, which we sure hope we do again,
Right.
those people that park on the road make it hard to get the snow off the road.
Yes.
And we have a fear of a couple things. If they get buried too deep and we can't see them with our big plows hitting a vehicle, or people coming out from around those vehicles that we can't see. So right now we're in preparation. We'll be putting our plows on here in a couple weeks. You'll see the sweeper out. It's been out quite a bit, and you'll see that continue as the leaves start to fall. Try to get those leaves out of the gutters before they get into the storm drain system, and so you'll see that. And we're just preparing in general for when snow comes.
How can citizens best contribute to safety as they travel on the roads this winter?
Well, a lot of times they like to compare the city streets to state roads. There's a couple things that help the snow come off the roads. A lot of it is tire traffic. And you figure state roads get a lot more tire traffic and it's a lot higher speeds. So those roads actually warm up. Plus the state has the budget compared to ours. They have probably for every lane mile 3 times the budget. And our some of that money comes through our gas tax, but they get more than the cities. And so they'll put down a solution prior to a snowfall, and then they apply a lot of sand after the salt. You know, the thing with the city, our budget's smaller.
Right.
We don't put down as much salt and sand because we have storm drains, and every bit we put down, we need to clean back up or they plug those up.
Right.
You'll see the state has very few storm drain systems when they get out on Astor. So just keep in mind, prepare enough time, go slow, you know, and just be aware of your braking activities, and speed's the thing. And we do try our best to get the road and the snow off. Depends on the temperature conditions on how easy that comes. But the city, we try to maintain enough equipment. It's taken a lot of years to get more and more equipment, but I think now we do pretty good with the city council helps us out on that.
Of all the projects or the endeavors that you've been involved with, can you name one that has been the most rewarding or the most memorable?
It's probably one that's probably one of the least expensive projects I've done, and that's a splash pad. Because we had citizens approach the city in a very nice way, brought up that, hey, we would like to have a splash pad, because a splash pad can be used from age 1 to 99. No matter what, you can do it. And so with that, the city council gave me direction to see what we could do. I know our splash pad isn't the fanciest, but it's easy to maintain. I looked at ones that had a lot of equipment above ground and talked to people that maintain them, and they said those were the hardest because we get people that vandalize stuff. And so we try to keep it as minimal as we could. The city crews, along with some contractors, built that splash pad for a really reasonable price, saved the citizens a lot of money, and built a restroom facility there that we needed also at the library at that time to make that park more utilizing. And I would say that's probably the most rewarding. I mean, I've done lots of projects, which from water tanks to wells to treatment plant upgrades, but that's probably one that comes out as one that can benefit anybody and everybody in town or out of town. When I was looking at splash pads, I visited with one of my neighboring cities, which is Providence, and he says our biggest problem with the splash pad is we have round garbage cans and they bring square pizza boxes. And he was just joking because, I mean, that's what some people do. They'll come and have a picnic or something there, which draws people there. They spend money in town and let the kids utilize the splash pad.
In the spring of 2025, you've already indicated that you're planning to retire as our Public Works Director. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
In that endeavor. And thank you so much for making continuous improvement a part of what happens in Tremont City.
Bear River Live wrapped up our coverage of fall sports in Park City. Thanks to our dedicated team and wonderful advertisers, we can bring you the most Bear River coverage. We kick off winter sports on November 19th with Lady Bear basketball. Watch for our schedule being posted soon. Tune in next week to see what's new on Talk of the Town.